Alright, today's Tuesday, and we are grinding away for pre-raid best-in-slot gear on my Rogue in Burning Crusade. We've made a little bit of progress, but have been largely unlucky with drops. We got Wastewalker Helm, Wastewalker Gloves, we made some crafted Fell Leather Boots, got Bloodlust Brooch, Auction Eye Death Shroud, Vindicator's Brand Latro's Sword, but we still have a lot of pieces of our old Bone Scythe set from Naxxramas that we're trying to replace. And in Mana Tombs here, what we're really looking for is Wastewalker leggings off of the last boss. That's the big prize out of this dungeon that we want to see. And we're playing with Shiv as our main combo point builder. It's pretty much the same damage output as Sinister Strike, but, you know, it's a little more fun, I would say, because you get to generate points faster. My talents are a little messed up. I don't really want to have Remorseless. Those should go in Vile, but it does, you know, it's not a big deal, so I didn't bother going and changing the talents just to move those 2 points around. I'll do it later. Right now, it's time to blast Mana Tombs. Really trying to get 4 pieces of Wastewalker any which way I can. We did an Auction Eye Crypts earlier where I could get the shoulders. Hold on. But they didn't drop. It dropped some stupid healing gloves instead. It was lame. You know, now we're here for Mana Tombs for the legs, like I said. And we'll go, maybe later today, we'll try to do a Blood Furnace. That's where you get the Wastewalker Tunic, which would be very good. But Blood Furnace is possibly the hardest of all the heroics. That might be a really challenging one to get a group that can actually clear it. Go for a nice little sap here. Just make everything nice and easy for us. We did this, we did the crypts with mostly the same group. And then the crypts went nice and well, smooth, no problem. And then we tried, you know, that we did another one. And this tank, Zenva, the Tauren here, you know, hadn't done Mana Tombs before. And I told him, you know, look, for the first boss, you pretty much need a stacked set of Shadow Resistance. And respect to Zenva, he was willing to just go to the auction house and drop like 200 gold on random Shadow Resist greens. And that's really what it takes for Pandemonius. Like, your normal gear basically doesn't do anything on that boss. He deals 100% magical damage. So your tanks are really better off just head to toe of Shadow Protection greens. They can be cloth, leather, mail, doesn't matter. The armor doesn't matter. You just want stamina and Shadow Resist to be able to live through this boss. I believe it's one of the hardest hitting bosses in all of the heroic dungeons. It is a bit of a doozy. I didn't mean to adrenaline rush here. That was actually a fat finger. I just meant to only press the 2-minute cooldowns. Good. And then we've recover the sapped mob at the end here. Oh, he's shooting it. Okay, perfect. Come on through, Ethereal Crypt Raider. Don't hit it until he's got threat on it. Perfect. So, in interest of getting more Shadow Resistance, we also picked up a Shadow Priest for the group. Everyone else in the group, except for the Shadow Priest, was in for the Auction Eye Crypts run. We have a TBC Rogue Guide, so I can treat it as gospel. Yeah, pretty much everything on the Simon Eyes Show Discord is where you want to be if you want to find out information about rogues in pretty much any version of Classic. I have to send this sap, but I will try to pull that up so then I can show you. We're pulling. I can't show it to you right now. I linked it on the chat, but I gotta play the game. Otherwise, my group's gonna think I suck if I'm just randomly AFK during a pull. That would be crazy. It's actually hard to get a spot as Rogue in TBC. Yeah, Rogue is generally a underpowered class when it comes to PvE in Burning Crusade. That's just the way it is. It's not very good, you know. So, yeah, I mean, groups that are trying to be competitive and are trying to really, like, push performance are usually not going to bring very many rogues. But, you know, other groups, like, they're just going to be more casual and they're not going to care that rogue is, you know, not theoretically as good as some of the other classes. Your distract resist for the sap, do you just wait for another distract? That depends. I mean, if I can get a clean approach from behind the mob without the distract, then I'll just keep going for it. I could also try to vanish. Like, a pre-vanish gives you a big buff to your stealth level, so you're less likely to be detected. So, like, if you're approaching a pack that's, like, hard to approach, you can pre-vanish. Anyways, on the Discord, all you do, you go to the very top of the channel list where it says read here first. You go to the start channel. Then it's got options to pick different game versions. Era, Burning Crusade, Wrath of Lich King, Season of Discovery, whatever. Pick Burning Crusade. Then you'll have a short list of topics like talents, BIS gear, weapon comparison charts, that kind of stuff. So you're almost always just 3 clicks away from any information you're trying to find. On the Simon I Show Discord. I don't know if we really need saps on these 2 mob pulls, but might as well. Drain the healer mana less. Alright, Shadow Resist time. When he goes ethereal, all melee attacks must stop. I'm not sure if it affects casters also. 269 Pog. That's great. Alright, here's our tank's gear. Yup. Then a few, like, actual items. Alright. There goes a large part of our cooldowns, but that's life. That's just how this boss works, basically. Fuck. He just does this all the time, and it's so annoying. Banishing my threat away. Honestly, when I do so much damage that I have to worry about threat, it makes me feel pretty good. It makes me feel like my class is relevant and good. If only, like, briefly. You know. Twin Blade of Mastery, crit expertise, fast dagger. Yikes. Agreed. Back to regular gear. Good stuff. Oh, shit, the tank wanted that weapon. Expertise is nice, he says. Okay, yeah. Fast weapon, decent for tank. Not really something I need. Undoable without resist gear? No, it's not impossible, but it's going to be way, 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 way harder if you don't have resist gear. And some groups, not every group, is actually not going to be able to do it without a resist geared tank. You know, like, let's not say impossible, but let's say it's highly recommended and makes it substantially easier if you have resist gear on your tank. Alaris says, I'm almost full Pre-BIS Paladin tank and still can't do it, and don't have the gold for Shadow Resist set. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, sometimes it's a healer issue of, like, your healer's just not outputting enough. It's like, it's kind of like a balance. The better mitigation the tank has, the less healing the healer needs to output. If the tank has really bad mitigation, but you have, like, an insane healer that can just crank out a huge amount of healing, then that can compensate for it, right? It's kind of like a push and pull. Why did you stop dropping YouTube videos? I assume you mean on the main channel. I haven't really posted a lot there. Mostly the main channel, the like edited guide videos, they took basically too much effort and didn't accumulate enough views, and they weren't really worth the time and effort I was putting into them. So I started posting almost entirely just VOD uploads and stream highlights on my second YouTube channel. So, you know, my YouTube isn't totally dark. It's just operating on the VODs channel and not the main channel. Another thing I found with the guide videos was, like, especially for a version, especially for a version like Season of Discovery that changes frequently, the guide videos, they weren't very good because I'd put all this effort into making a good quality guide, and then the game would change. And then not only would the guide be irrelevant, but, or like, sometimes it's like 80% relevant and 20% of it is changed and needs to be updated. You can't edit a YouTube video after it's uploaded. You can't, I think you can cut stuff out, but you can never add new things in. Anyways, people would then watch that video and become upset. And they'd be like, wow, I just wasted my time watching this outdated guide video. And basically the whole calculus of, like, is it worth the time I put into these? Am I actually getting, you know, returns on this time investment to make these quality guides that have limited duration usefulness and limited, like, view accrual? And it's just like, well, the answer is no. In a lot of cases, the answer was no. It just wasn't worth it. Yeah, the second channel is linked beneath. It's linked in the video description of every main channel video. A lot of people also don't read the video descriptions or pinned comments, which is again, like, another part of the reason why I can't, like, post a comment or a description that says, oh, everything here is good except this one thing that got changed and updated, because, like, no one's gonna pay attention to that, or at least not enough people are gonna pay attention to that to matter. I'm gonna refresh this. Perfect. Watching your TBC Expose Armor guide in prep for Karazhan, would you recommend swapping your Sinister for Shiv, or does it matter in your opinion? You can do whatever you want. You can use Shiv with instant poison in your offhand, you can use Sinister with deadly in your offhand. You do what you want. It's pretty much the same damage output. Personally, I'm going to be using Shiv because I like generating more combo points. It makes it more fun, and theoretically, it's about the same damage output. Oh, it was a super far pull. If more combo points with Shiv, isn't it easier to maintain expose? Yeah, probably. I would say so. Tap the far side one. Make it easier for the tank to, like, throw and aggro this thing. Aragon says, a random dude in my dungeon group mentioned the Shiv setup you're using, and wow, so many great resources in your Discord. Thanks for your contributions, mate. Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad you found my Discord helpful. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Guys, I mean, this is it. We finally made it. Peekaboo said we're a genius, and now everyone wants to come to learn how to rebind Sinister Strike with Shiv. Okay? All it took was me. Okay, this is all I did, and now it was an insane glow up of, like, notoriety, okay? Before, I had Sinister Strike bound and was playing TBC. And then I decided I'm gonna bind Shiv and play TBC. And basically nothing changed. Other than that. Alright, we're gonna sit on this guy, make sure we interrupt his mana burns. Never mind, he's dead without casting one. That'll happen too sometimes. Cloak. Full group took a lot of damage from those arcanes there. Should be able to shoot it. Perfect. We're fine. This is kind of going like the wrong direction, but this is a patrol that like goes the other way too, so just clearing it out is good. Guys are like actually not casting very many mana burns. I'm just killing them super fast, I guess. A casual 1800 damage eviscerate, no problem. The tank said they hadn't done mana tombs before, so they were like not certain on what to do, but they seem like someone who like generally like knows how to play, right? Like the way they're moving and stuff. Target in combat. Come on, let me sap you. I don't know, maybe it's not a bug. Maybe it's supposed to stay in combat for a while after it detects you, but I was sitting there in stealth for a little bit, and it just wouldn't let me sap it. So I think one thing about Shiv that is kind of exciting is it feels like way more like a casino spec than Sinister Strike. You know, all your damage output, you get a lot of variance from just like whether or not you crit or not. So like in that respect, like almost all rogue damage output is like some extent of a casino, just RNG, random, get lucky. But Shiv has like extra layers of randomness that I find exciting. So Shiv being a offhand attack has a chance to trigger combat potency. So I Shiv for 34 energy. I have a 20% chance to immediately restore 15. So like on average, that's 3 energy off of each Shiv. So it's kind of like on average Shiv is 31 energy. But you know, it comes in bursts. And then the other thing is Shiv is 1 guaranteed trigger of instant poison. But again, you know, you have instant poison in your offhand. Shiv is a offhand weapon hit. It has a chance to trigger instant poison. Instant poison is a 20% chance, so like 20% of your Shivs will trigger 2 instant poisons from 1 cast. Which is, you know, exciting. And, okay, here's another thing. A lot of people have asked about, like, oh, you know, aren't you going to get way fewer Wind Fury procs because you're not doing Sinister Strike? Because, like, Wind Fury only goes in your main hand. Sinister Strike's a main hand ability. Shiv's an offhand ability. So their thought is, you know, if you replace Sinister Strike with Shiv, you have far fewer chances to trigger Wind Fury. That is actually not an issue in Burning Crusade, because Burning Crusade version of Wind Fury Totem does not trigger from abilities at all. So, like, your Sinister Strikes aren't triggering Wind Fury anyways, so you're not, like, losing that opportunity. Some people think that, though. They don't know that Wind Fury doesn't trigger from abilities in this version. I think that's all the, like, weird mechanical things with Shiv that people ask about a lot. Shiv actually gets super nerfed in Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King Shiv is like the completely destroyed version of Shiv. Shiv in Wrath can't trigger combat potency. The poison that Shiv triggers cannot critical strike. Those two things alone are pretty big hits to it. Can't remember. Maybe it can't trigger an additional poison. But yeah, Wrath of Lich King Shiv is just super nerfed. I remember when Wrath came out, like Wrath Classic, a few years ago. I had a whole like post in my Discord. I could probably find it where I listed out all the differences that made Wrath of the Lich King Shiv just terrible. I can't remember every detail right now, though. Whoa! I threat pulled there. Again, whenever you threat pull, it's because you're just too good at the game, okay? You're doing too much damage, your class is too powerful, your gear is so good, and you're very attractive. That's why the mobs attack you sometimes. So really, pulling threat is kind of like getting a compliment. Yeah, that you're just too good. How's the gearing coming along? Asked Philzak. Well, the gearing is mid at best. You know, we're getting stuff, but not very much stuff. Would be a huge hit if we got Wastewalker legs in this dungeon. I don't think anyone else in this group would go for them. Maybe the Shaman would, but I don't think Shaman wants Wastewalker legs. Fuck. Alright, if I could have distracted all three of them and none of them resisted, I could have went in, sapped one, and then the tank could have pulled the others. But that section, you have the patrol, like, going back and forth over top of these stationary mobs, so you have to, like, pull the stationary or pull the patrol when they're far enough apart. Your favorite heroic? Look. There haven't been a lot of heroic dungeons where I felt like I'm having a great time and I'm happy to be playing rogue. So when you say favorite, I try to think of times where I was having a good time. And it's kind of like, man, a lot of groups don't want to include rogues, and you tend to struggle to get into the groups, and then usually in groups I'm going to be honest, usually my name is not at the top of the list, okay? So I would say the most fun I had, I don't know, like an easy dungeon. Oh, here's the thing. Okay, this was probably a cool thing. It's not like this is my favorite dungeon, but this was a cool thing that happened in a heroic dungeon. I was doing Escape from Durnhold, aka Old Hillsbrad Foothills, heroic, right? And we killed the first boss, and we were on to the second stage where you escort Thrall out of the castle, right? And you get out of the castle, and then you go down this little ramp that goes back and forth and then onto a bridge. Between the castle and the bridge, there's one pack of mobs that spawns and then runs towards you. And what I was doing was I was running up to it to try to get a sap on one of the mobs. And what I did is I distracted the group of mobs the moment it spawned. So it was as far away as it possibly could be because I distracted right as it spawned. And then I went in and I sapped it. And then to my surprise, Thrall, here, let me just signal that I'm not sapping on the 2 mob pull. 2 casters, he'll just pull them in. Right, to my surprise, Thrall just ran to the bridge directly and skipped that trash pack. So, I'm pretty sure I accidentally created a skip for Durnhold that is rogue only, of just distracting the second spawned trash pack on the Thrall escort, and then Thrall will just run past it. It seemed really good. I mean, is it a big deal that you skip one trash pack? I mean, not really, but it was kind of cool. You know? That at the bottom of the hill from the keep? Okay, so you start, let me walk you through it so like you know which pack I'm talking about. You start the Thrall escort, he comes up from the downstairs, he goes into the armory, he bashes the guy in the armory, picks up his armor, and then you go out to the like entrance of the castle, and there's the first pack of 4 mobs that spawns at the entrance to the castle. Then you kill that pack of mob, then he goes like down the hill to the left, and there's another pack of mobs. And then after that pack of mobs, he goes down the hill to the right, and you get to the bridge where there's a pack of mobs. That's 1, 2, 3 packs of mobs. Third one on the bridge. The one that I'm saying is skippable is pack number 2. Rogues can also skip the entire bomb. Whoa, wait. That's big. I didn't know that. Maybe we got to try that today. Rogues can also skip the entire bomb planting. Ooh, I didn't know about that. You're saying the bombs inside of the dungeon, you can just stealth to all of them, and then your group doesn't have to clear that stuff. I wonder if that saves you to the dungeon. I bet it doesn't. Well, maybe if we're done after this heroic, we'll go straight into Old Hillsbrad and just, like, solo and see if we can do that. Got the interrupt. Almost missed it. I was a little slow toggling over. Any gear updates? Over the weekend, I got Wastewalker Helm and I got Auctioneye Death Shroud and enough badges for this Bloodlust Brooch. Basically, I did a lot of heroics and I didn't get very many drops in those heroics. I mean, I mostly just got a bunch of badges. I crafted the Fell Leather Boot for myself, made by Simonized 2, you can see there. Any TK heroics yet? No. I don't have Revered Shatar reputation, and there's nothing I need from the rep, and there's no drops inside of those dungeons that I need, so it's really just a super low priority for me. I'm not, like, actively spending time trying to get my Shatar reputation done. I have way more, you know, basically everything else is more important than that. I've got all the heroics except for Shatar taken care of, or unlocked. Tip for your Shatar reputation, though. When you level up Aldor and Scryer reputation, you get Shatar reputation at the same time. So you can get all the way up to 599 out of 6,000 friendly with Shatar just from leveling up your Aldor or Scryer rep. And it's a little bit, you know, some people don't know this because it doesn't give you a message in the chat log that says your Shatar reputation increased. Which is weird, but if you look at your reputation tab as you turn in Fell Armaments or Mark of Kil'jaeden or whatever, you will see indeed that your Shatar reputation is going up at the same time. So the recommendation, the tip is, you know, level up your Aldor or Scryer rep before you start grinding Shatar reputation, because there's a lot of basically free rep there. You know, everyone's got to get exalted with Scryer or Aldor for their shoulder enchants anyways. Might as well do that before you start grinding your Shatar dungeons or Shatar reputation any other way. Stinkfist says Peekaboo did it yesterday. He respect sub for the old Hillsbrad thing. Okay, nice. Chest on the right, on the left. Oh, we should probably clear it. Chests are fun. We'll see if the tank wants to. Nexus Terror. We're getting close to the end here. We're almost in the final room. This is the second to last room. Hidden rogue advantage. DPS doesn't matter if you can skip having to attack stuff. True. How does one summon Yor? I'm not 100% on the details, but I believe you need revered reputation with the consortium, and then you need to do a long quest chain that's like partially in Netherstorm, partially in Blade's Edge. I'm not sure. I know some of it's in Blade's Edge. I'm not sure if some of it's in Netherstorm also. But basically, it's a long quest chain and a high reputation level that gains access to Yor, which is a like extra special boss at the end of this dungeon. Has some very, very good ring drops, but the rings aren't even a guaranteed drop. I killed him once on the weekend. Someone in my guild had done the quest to be able to summon him. And we just got some stupid BOE blue, like, leather spell power item. Oh my gosh, I almost died. So it was a huge disappointment. We were kind of all going into it assuming we were going to get one of those fancy epic rings. You know, there's like a physical DPS ring, a tank ring, a healer ring. Like, there's 4 or 5 different rings, like, with really good stats on them. But evidently, those are not guaranteed drops. Why do you want legs instead of midnight? I want any 4 pieces of Wastewalker I can get. And I have a limited number of chances to get all of them. So I'm not, you know, under any illusion. I'm not under any assumption that, like, oh, I'm going to get the perfect 4 and have the optimal 5th off-piece thing to have a perfect gear set. I have a limited number of heroics I can do before the raids come out. I want that 4-piece bonus. However I can get it, that's how I'm getting it. So, you know, we're trying for the shoulders, the legs, and the tunic. Already have the helm and the glove, and we'll just see what we can get. Maybe I shouldn't have drummed here. This is only a 2-mob pack. Should have done it on one of the bigger packs. Oh well, doesn't really matter. Drums are, on my server at least, very cheap right now. These drums of battle, they take 30 knothide leather and 4 thick cleft hoof leather, which, you know, auction house value of that is over 20 gold. However, a lot of people spam craft them to get skill ups, and then they have a crap load of drums of battle, like they're trying to skill up their leatherworking. They have a crap load of drums of battle, and they're willing to sell them on the auction house for way less than the cost of the material. And, you know, their greed and their rush to level up their profession and their lack of care of how much they sell it for is my advantage. I bought over 100 drums of battle for between 3 and 5 gold each, which is approximately the vendor value of the materials used to create them. And I'll probably buy even more. You know, this is just one of many things. It's like a lot of raid consumables right now. Hang on, gotta full clear this room. Boss aggros the whole thing. I spelled that wrong. Right, a lot of raid consumables right now are way underpriced. Whether it's drums of battle or like haste potion or scroll of agility or scroll of strength. I believe that these items, these like raid consumables, are cheaper now than they will pretty much ever be for the rest of the expansion. So I've been dunking all the gold I get, every bit of gold I can get, into just buying as many raid consumables as I possibly can. And at this point, I'm pretty sure I already have enough raid consumables to last me the entire expansion from 1 week of, you know, a little over 1 week at the start. Just because they're cheap now. And the way I've been making the gold to be able to do that, to buy that stuff up, is disenchant shuffles. Disenchant shuffles, basically, I'm using my add-on Auctionator, not my add-on I installed, called Auctionator. And it has a option, hang on, where do I show this? Tooltips. Show estimated disenchant value of items in tooltips. So you just search all the enchant materials like Arcane Dust, Greater Planner, Large Prismatic. So your add-on has like an updated value for them, like current value. And then you just go on the auction house and you search for low-priced greens, and it'll show in the tooltip like this. You see disenchant value 596. Well, if that item's being sold for 5 gold, and it disenchants for 596, I'm just going to buy it, disenchant it, and sell the materials. That's it. That's the whole scheme. It is literally that easy. That's it. Just keep doing that. You know, 5 minutes later, refresh the auction house again. There's going to be a whole new crop of stuff to buy. How much are scrolls on your server right now? I don't know. I got up to 500 Scroll of Agility 5 and 500 Scroll of Strength 5, and then I stopped paying attention to what the price of the scrolls were, because I don't think I'll use that many in the entire expansion. I paid under 2 gold each for those scrolls, sometimes as low as 1 gold each, if they were that low on the auction house. But I haven't been buying scrolls for a few days, maybe almost a week now, because that was one of the first things I started like spending my gold on. Reckon, is it better to make them into consumables or just resell them later for a markup? You mean like the materials to like make haste potion or whatever? I mean, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably just gonna find a alchemist and be like, yo, do you have an hour free? And like try to give them a sack of gold to craft 1,000 haste potions for me. I'm just gonna craft them all up at once. I'm not gonna worry about like, oh, should I craft them now? Should I craft them later? Just like get them crafted and, you know, have it done so then they can be useful to me, or I can sell them directly. What trinket am I aiming to go for next to my Bloodlust Brooch? Well, I would like to have an Abacus of Violent Odds. If I don't get an Abacus out of Mechanar, I might just have Hand of Justice from level 60. You know, it's actually not that bad. Hourglass is, like, about the same as Hand of Justice. I already have Hand of Justice, so, like, might as well. Really, like, if it's not Abacus, there's a lot of different options that all, like, are whatever. It's from regular. Yeah, Abacus is from regular, and you'll certainly find a lot of hunters probably running that, because they need one of the pieces of Beast Lord comes from regular Mechanar. You can usually, you know, groups are plentiful. Of course, the hunters are probably rolling on your Abacus also. Just pre-bought mats for 2 Mongoose. Yeah, I was watching the price of Void Crystal, and I was a little upset because I didn't buy into Void Crystal, and, you know, in the past 3 days, it's, like, doubled in price. I think I might have to buy into it now before it doubles again. Hard prio the ads. If they are not killed fast enough, they transform and full heal, transforming into a much nastier enemy. There will be more ads throughout the fight, so always gotta swap and kill them quick. I'd say don't worry about aggro on the ads. Alright, here we go. I'm vanishing. It was a little rough. I did press my Blood Fury there. I didn't think I was going to rip all that threat and take all that damage. I tried to cloak to mitigate some of the damage. There we go. But now I'm basically out on cooldown, so I have nothing left. Beacon? You saw at the start of the fight, he had 3 beacons. We killed 2 of them, but the third one turned into like a mini version of the boss, a little ethereal dude. That's what happens if you don't kill the beacon fast enough. It transforms into that thing. It does way more damage. It has way more health. So really, really, you just want to kill those ASAP. Do not want this to get out of hand with too many of those spawning. Good. Oops, this thing. I targeted the wrong one. Alright, here we go. Waste Walker legs, please. I've not seen them drop a single time of all my Mana Tombs clears. Please let this be the one. Please, 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 please. Waste Walker legs, please, one time. Yes! Okay, now we just need to win the roll. We don't need that thing. Yo, legs are huge for me. Need roll? Maybe some other people were like, maybe I need it, maybe I don't. Just want to make sure everyone knows that those are huge for me. Druid was deciding. Oh, we got him with a 100. Yes! Okay, that's some good luck. That's some good luck. See if we can get that Primal Nether. No, we cannot get the Primal Nether. Okay, 3rd piece Waste Walker. Nice. Good run, folks. Nice, 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 nice. Look at that. Compared to Bone Scythe leg plates. With 3 sockets. I mean, the sockets are making up most of the power there. Okay, that's a good one. Anyone wants to death roll you? No, no, no. Hang on, there was a group for OHB in my guild chat.
Thank you.
I'm gonna see if they filled up already. Take the group to other heroics. They seemed pretty competent. I mean, maybe. The priest bounced. We could try Furnace or OHB. Alright, here we go. Oh, that's way closer to me than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Surely it doesn't see me from there. Okay, so I didn't see that guy. I might have to sap and blind, then interact. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that works. Nice. One down. Go over here. Ooh. This looks like I can just hit it. Without any aggro. Nice, because that one's really far away. 2 down. Okay. This is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be like some really tough situations to get into. Might want to position where the stairs are, where the boss spawns. Alright, we can hug right. Way less Keepers of Time reputation when you do it this way. Looking out for a dog patrol in this area. Oh, shit. Hang on. How am I going to pass this guy? Zap him. Then move in. Can't detect me while sapped. Ooh. This could be tough. I have to sap him. And then be as far away as I can. Okay, nice. I wasn't sure if these guys at the door were going to get me. So we can go out here. 3 down. I can go whoop, just like that. Still looking out for this dog patrol. Where's the dog patrol? Dog patrol is probably going to kill me. I haven't found it yet. Oh, wait. I think someone else marked it for me. Track to the side. What are we doing here? Probably zapping that warden and then trying to be like here. Yep, out of line of sight, so it's not aggroing. Okay. 4th down. I think boss will spawn as soon as I hit 5th. So let me know when you guys are ready and in position. Should be clear, go. Okay. Hitting 5th at the moment. Good. Now we just try to sprint back to the group. Oh, these guys all run? Uh-oh. Where are they running to? Hmm. That didn't work like I thought it would. Wait, maybe we can get him off to the side? They say they're going to try to clear out some of the trash. Okay. I wonder if we could, like, jump down, fight it there, but then we'd have to get out anyways. Oh, I'm still in subtlety build, too. Wait. Yeah, our build is not good right now. Alright, well, I'd say that went well. We just need to figure out what to do about this part of it. What main hand is that? Don't pay attention to the dagger. We have Vindicator's brand. Don't worry about that weird item that I definitely don't worry about it. Never mind. Where is the boss? Is he just chilling over here? Oh my god damn it. You're doing that Shiv tech that Peekaboo's doing, huh? Yeah, the Peekaboo Shiv tech that Peekaboo invented. Look, Peekaboo copied it from me, but because Peekaboo's more famous than me, he gets credit for it. Nobody believes Pika invented. Yeah, I was just joking. I was just joking. Alright, so what do we think about this? What do we think about, like, is it actually good to have a rogue go in stealth and do all these? I wonder if the boss is just chilling at the other end now. Yeah, I think, so, if we had cleared this first area initially, we could have aggroed the boss right as it came down, and it would have skipped clearing everything on that side. But because we didn't clear it initially, we couldn't pull the boss right away, and then he just walked over here. He's walking back now, but yeah. Out. Alright, so yeah, I think that's the plan. You just have the rest of the group clear the 3 houses at first, and then the rogue can stealth clear the second 2, and then the area to fight the boss will be clear. Oh shit, tank almost dying. And then you'll save, you know, not a huge amount of time, but time, you know, so some time. Going in for a sap. Stealth clear left 2 while other people in the team clear up to house 1. Yeah. Oh shit. Venture shield right on the sap. No saps here. Oh, left side. So every group I go in goes right side. Uh-oh. There's a patrol. Oh, disoriented. Finish that one off. Okay, so that was a stationary pack plus a patrol. I see now why the paladin like intentionally broke the sap. Sapping is just a waste of time. This paladin's like super geared. They could just tank. They could just tank 6 mobs at once if they wanted to. That's wild.
Very well then. Let's go.
Simon Eyes is a genius.
Yo, Max DW with a hat change request. Alright, I'm gonna try to be in position for the distract that I was talking about before. No. Polymorph. Cloak. Pre-cloak the polymorph. Nice. Kidney the fireball. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Yep. There we go. Perfect. Got in combat with them somehow. How did that happen? That did not happen last time I did that. I don't know why they ran straight to us. Maybe they ran into Quar? Still up top. Yeah, there could have been totems, but I saw the corpse of the other paladin. He walked down the hill. Then I pulled healing aggro. Last time I did it, they walked uphill into the castle. So I don't know, maybe that's just not a good plan if it's not consistent. I don't know if someone proximity aggroed them or not. Yeah, it's hard to tell because you don't get like a combat log message of like mob aggroed on this guy first. Huh. It seemed like what it looked like to me, but I didn't have a super good camera angle. It looked like they got in combat and ran towards the combat. But maybe I'll check the tapes. Maybe that's not exactly what happened. Play it back in slow-mo, see if they went uphill or downhill before getting aggro. I'm gonna see if I can look up my own footage while we run back. Alright, I found the footage. But the group is also good to go, and I don't want to hold them up any longer. So I found the footage in the recording, so we'll look at it in a moment.
Thanks for making me a better rogue.
And we just won't worry about that anymore. Rylith, coming in with the Prime Gaming. Thank you so much for 2 months of support. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Says, thanks for making me a better rogue. Well, you're very welcome. Hope you're having fun playing World of Warcraft. Alright, so we jump down. You see them fireballed Thrall. Yeah, I don't have a super clear camera angle on what happened. It looks like maybe they did aggro Thrall. But it's weird because Thrall walked right past them at the start, but then their first fireball was towards Thrall. I was playing that back in 2x speed, and the camera angle didn't exactly show what I wanted it to. So, whatever. I wonder if they're just scripted to aggro onto Thrall. I was pretty sure that worked the one other time I did it. But now I'm kind of skeptical. Damn, this thing died right here. Can't loot it. Wait, he doesn't auto heal out of combat? Oh, now he is. Immobilized mobs, pretty dangerous. You don't want to be next to them as a melee. Because they will only hit other things that are in melee range of them. So if you're in melee range of a immobilized mob, and then the tank moves away for any reason, and then you are the only one in melee range of it, it will slap you, and because these are heroic mobs, it'll probably kill you. You think rogue or warrior should have priority on warglaives? Explain why. I think I want to finish this dungeon right now. But if you go Warglaive of Azeroth, there's an article on guides. I'll find it. I wrote an article for Wowhead about this.
Thrall, you didn't really think you would
Yeah.
escape, did you?
I can't find it right now. I have to do my heroic dungeon right now.
After I've had my fun.
I wiped this group once already. I'm not gonna have them blaming me for 2 wipes.
I will fight to the last.
This one's always a bit annoying to do as a rogue, or sorry, with a I'm not as a rogue, with a paladin tank, because you can't tell visually if you're in a good consecration or a bad consecration, and you don't want to be in the bad consecrations, but they look the same as your paladin's consecrations. Alright. Reroll that. We got our badge of justice. Let's see. There you go. Linked in chat. Mostly the whole, I'll be straight with you. Mostly the whole article is just saying, like, everyone who asked about Warglaive priority is typically under the assumption that loot is assigned purely based on theoretical raid DPS gain, and that it should be assigned to whichever class theoretically gains the most damage from it, which, you know, is very typical classic WoW player line of thinking, and is also completely stupid. Like, any real guild or group of players is gonna, like, weigh things like, you know, do they like playing with you? Are you a nice person? Do you help out the guild in other ways? Much more than, like, a spreadsheet or simulator says a theoretical warrior gains 10 more DPS than a theoretical rogue. You know? You don't play with theoretical players. But what I'm saying is a lot of people approach the decision in that way. They're like, well, theoretically, this class gets more damage from it, so we need to give it to every warrior before we give it to every rogue, or whatever. And that's just really stupid. One, because things other than theoretical DPS gain are going to matter in most circumstances. And 2, Timmy the Warrior is not a theoretically perfect warrior, neither is Jimbo the Rogue. Okay? neither of those players are playing at their theoretical, like, output or whatever. And it's a question, you know, like, is the rogue or the warrior, like, at 90% or 80% or 70% of their theoretical output? Like, how strongly are they playing? You know, the theoretical gain doesn't usually confer directly to what happens in your actual raids. Dankwar with a 3-stream watch streak. Hello, how are you doing today? I know the guild raids were not going to be like at the raid launch time. So my new plan to do a raid at launch time is to just 100% pug a Karazhan group. That's my plan. Just lead a group, pug Karazhan. I think that'll be good stream content. Yaz HD says the hunter gives me feet picks, so he gets DST. Yeah, like that's another thing that really weighs into a lot of loot decisions is like, how many feet picks did you send the guild leader? Do the same with Gruul and Hard Reserve DST? I don't know. But basically, for the first week, the release week of raids, like, I really just want to be in a raid the moment they go out. After that, it like, doesn't matter as much. I will try to get myself into the guild raids. Guild are you in? I'm in a guild called GG, which is led by one of the guild leader Dank, who's in chat. We got most of the GG players in here too. Our tank, Tercia, GG, Minac, GG, War, GG, Simonize 2, GG. Don't want to play with standard again. I have no idea what server standards are on. Should be on this protector. Stop it from healing. Try to stop it from healing. Flash Shield's a little bit of a fast cast time. Got it though. Nightslayer Horde. Yeah, I have no characters on Nightslayer. Dream, Standard, Cartel, and Dust to Dust in one guild. That's a lot of folks. Are you gonna use W? Like the movement key W? Yeah, I use it all the time. Game would be like almost unplayable if I wasn't using W. Are you gonna use swing timer for raids? No. Swing timers are literally completely irrelevant for rogues in Burning Crusade. They went from being a thing in vanilla that like kind of mattered and most people overhyped and put way too much significance on and didn't really matter very much in vanilla to literally being irrelevant in Burning Crusade. Alright, we chilling right here. Alright, so we're getting close to the last boss. The last boss drops Nightfall wrist guards and Epoch's Whispering Cinch, which is a bracer and a belt. Those are the ones we want. It also drops Wastewalker Helm, but we've already got it, so we don't need another one.
Aretha's life hangs in the balance. Surely you care for her. Surely you wish to save her.
Why? There is still Sword Specialization and Wind Fury Totem. Well, I'm gonna sure I can explain that to you right now. Auto attacks extra attacks no longer interact with your auto attacks at all. They are completely independent, unlike they were in vanilla. Second point, Wind Fury in Burning Crusade does not trigger from abilities. So the whole idea of timing your abilities around your auto attacks, 1, doesn't matter because Wind Fury doesn't trigger from your abilities anyways. 2, doesn't matter because every form of extra attack does not in any way interact with your auto attack swing timer. Admitted real name certification has been approved. Hitchens, what are you talking about? Is it like streaming on Bilibili or something? Trying to find something that has threat so I can attack it. Not very much threat. Oh, tank is dead. We're effed. We're all dead. Rip. Guys, the group wiped and it wasn't my fault. So now, when everyone's done with the dungeon, the most recent wipe isn't going to be the one that I caused, and no one's going to think that I'm bad at the game. We may have wiped a second time, but in a way, it was good for my image. Yeah, Hitchens, I think I would try to do that if it weren't, like, try to multi-stream on, you know, Bilibili or I mean, even YouTube. But my trouble is, where I live, I can't get fiber internet, and the internet I have generally struggles with me single streaming. So I don't think it's wise for me to try to multi-stream. So I haven't, you know, because I know my internet situation, I haven't really invested a lot of time in trying to multi-stream, whether it's to other Western platforms or to the Chinese WoW platforms. I'm going to show there's no point to time my Sinister Strike after the main hand auto finishes to avoid clipping in TBC. Correct. That's a thing you could do and theoretically gain some benefit in vanilla, but it's completely irrelevant and doesn't mean anything in Burning Crusade because the underlying mechanics are changed. Multi-stream through a broadcast server. Yeah, I know that's possible, but it's, you know, that's then like another layer of like, I have to set up the broadcast server, and I have to set up the Twitch stream, and I have to set up the YouTube stream and the Billy stream and the whatever. Like, it's yet another component that, like, yeah, it might solve the internet problem of like not needing to send out twice as much data, but I don't know. Kind of went the wrong way. Alright, so that section is 3 waves of dragon mobs. First wave is 3 enemies, second wave is 3 enemies, third wave is 4 enemies, and that's where we died, on the 4 enemy wave. Testing the Shiv build, definitely solid for the combo points. Hello, Jay Tullo. Hello! Glad you're enjoying the Shiv build. I'm surprised whenever I hear pretty much anyone admitting that they're playing Rogue by choice in Burning Crusade. Because it's a rough life. Have you been able to get into some heroic dungeons? You struggling with that too? Have you had any shaman healers find out that they're actually enhanced main spec and roll on, you know, DPS agility gear? Have you experienced that? I've experienced that. Just wondering, spitballing, if maybe that's something you experienced too, Jay Tello. I swear to God, it tilted me so much. Get to the end of Auchenai Crypts. The healing shaman, who has said nothing at all about being enhanced for the entire dungeon, sees that Wastewalker shoulders drop, slams a need roll, exclaims, "Actually, I'm enhancement main spec," wins the item, dips out of the group. God damn it. Like, it's fine if you want to roll on things that aren't your primary, like, what you're doing in the dungeon. But I really feel like it's good manners to tell the group that before the dungeon starts. Alright, this is the caster. Oh, Blizzard kiting. I see. Okay, this is nice. So look. Mage is using improved blizzard, slowing the mobs down, and then the paladin is basically just kiting around all these fence posts, so they aren't taking all of the hits from the mob, just getting hit occasionally. So that super duper reduces the damage that the tank takes. That's good. Line of sighting right here. I have pretty high threat. I'm gonna stun it. Yeah, look at this. This is pretty nice. I wonder if I'll be able to get a blind on the next wave of mobs before it gets into the, like, Consecrate and Blizzard area. Yes. Got him. I don't know if that was actually good to separate him like that, but seems okay. Because now it didn't get Consecrate aggro from the first Consecrate. Maybe that was actually a bad thing. Generally think when you crowd control a mob, it's a good thing, but maybe in this circumstance it wasn't. Minac Ice Block. Tank dead. We're okay. We can still do it. You dead. Oh shit. Evasion. I'm dead. No, we cannot do it anymore. Wait, maybe we can. This could get kited out for a long time. Yeah, okay. It's quick res into 2 more res. We have a little bit of time. There's an Ankh. That's good. Res up tank first. If I don't get rezzed, it's fine. Is he not rezzing? What's he doing? Is he in combat? Oh, tank, I see. He was going for the tank, but the tank was all the way over there. Okay. That makes sense. Thrall's on 50%. This one is always scuffed. We don't have too much more time. Cannot let Thrall die. Then if Thrall dies, we fail. Cloak. Expose armor. Sprint. Threat seems okay. Can keep pumping. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got... Oh, the magical debuff? That's fine. Okay, we did it. Belt or Bracer? Or neither? Time Slicer, Fast Dagger, Worm Fury, Worm Scale. Okay, none of those are good. Greed that. Greed that. Worm Fury, Pauldrons, greed that. And need the Primal Nether. Alright. I had to do either or both. BM or BF. Down for BM, can do daily quest. Oh yeah, I can share the daily. Wanted Rift Lords. Alright, they're saying Black Morass next. I'm game. Did a gem drop? I don't think so. I didn't see one. Is it against TOS? Iced coffee? I'm gonna be... you have some question about selling a thing. The issue with that is Blizzard's just inconsistent with enforcing their rules. So you could read the TOS, do an activity that's very clearly in violation of them, and then not get in trouble. So, like, I'm not going to be the authority on whether some activity you describe is against TOS or not. I'm not going to tell you it is or isn't, because they're just inconsistent with enforcement to their terms of service. Stinkfizz, you got your first Wastewalker piece. Oh, very nice. Which one did you get? Despite what the patch note says for TBC, on live servers, still auto attack resets on sword spec / wind fury procs. You can get a swing timer and test it yourself if you want to verify. Well, that is not how TBC is supposed to work. So if that's correct, what you're saying, then that's not how TBC is supposed to be. So TBC is supposed to have swords extra attack effects completely independent of your melee swing timer. I'm not going to go out of my way right now to go verify it based on your claim alone. What I'd like to see is, you know, you could post it, post the evidence of the, you know, swing timer getting reset. I might get around to doing that, but I don't really believe that at face value. Not really on the trinket. I'd roll, but I don't care about competition. I'm after the epic leather belt. They're asking me about the black morass trinket. I was talking about something before. Oh, Stinkfist, you say you got the helmet. Excellent. Belt as an extra. Oh, belt off of the same boss, the rare quality belt. Okay, nice. Yeah, they're in Chatrith, Black Morass, Orgrimmar. Tercia, I think we gotta go hit the summon stone. Iced Coffee says, if you had the ability to make a lot of gold from selling a specific dungeon item, would you? I mean, would I? No, because I already have a shitload of gold and have a lot of easy ways to make gold. I mean, basically disenchant shuffling. It just makes me so much gold. Like, I just... I bought an entire expansion worth of raid consumables in the first week and a half from disenchant shuffles, okay? That's... I don't need more gold. But if I could host a dungeon group and sell an item and make a bunch of gold, and I wasn't interested in doing disenchant shuffles, then I don't know. Yeah, it seems fine. Christopher Rob says, I use your weak aura, but I miss the energy tick in the energy bar. Can you somehow fix that? I've never used an energy tick on my energy bar. I don't think it's important for PvE, and I don't really do PvP. Other people have different opinions about it, but, you know, my UI setup is largely built for me, and then share with anyone else that wants it. I don't care about an energy tick timer, and it is kind of a hard thing to do correctly. Because if you just have it search for, like, any time that you gain energy, it can get confused from combat potency procs or relentless strikes procs or this or that. Like, I think it's not a super clear thing. It's not easy, I would say. So I haven't really looked into making it because I don't want it, and it's kind of hard to do. Is he gonna accept the summon? It's a deal. Summoning him again. Never mind. Okay, he's here. We're good.
Simon Eyes is a genius.
Yo, hat change request. Okay. Holy shit, that's BIS? Wait. The hat change, the new hat change, you like it? Stinkfist, it says, is farming ZG Tiger anywhere close to possible? No idea how level 60 content feels. I know Warlocks can do it by, like, bugging out the boss to get it to spawn in Phase 2, which, in my opinion, lame. And I know Protection Paladins can do it. I'm not sure what gear level they need to be able to do it. Okay, so one of the other people in my guild came up with this, or at least I heard it from them before I heard it from anyone else. And I asked them, and they said it's okay to share this technology, okay? It's about Black Morass and making it easier, the last boss in particular. So you get these 5 Chrono beacons, and normally if you Chrono beacon during a boss, the boss just, like, the beacon dragon will, like, attack once or twice, and then the boss will despawn it. Like, the boss goes, like, poof, and poofs the Chrono beacon dragon. What you can do is you can have one person Chrono beacon on the last boss, and then the moment that the beacon dragon gets poofed and despawns, all 4 other people hit their beacons. And then the dragons just stay up after the first one gets despawned. That's the whole tech, and then the last boss is super easy. Because you have 4 beacon dragons attacking it at once. The good old GG tech, yes. When people tell me, like, secret tech things, I always ask them, like, you need me to keep this secret, or is it okay if I share it? And I was told that it was okay if I share it. You know, there's things rattling around in my brain that people have told me, and they're like, don't tell anyone. And it's like, if I didn't discover it myself and someone else told me first and they wanted to keep it secret, then I honor that and I keep it secret. If I discover that myself, you better believe I'm telling everyone, though. I should put a key binding for my Chrono beacon. I always just like to beacon waves 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, you can do that too, and it just makes the easy mob easier. But some groups struggle with the last boss being kind of hard. So, like, you know, if you quadruple beacon the last boss, then instead of making an easy enemy easier, which is what you would do with spreading them out on the trash mobs, if you just focus them all on the boss, then you take a hard enemy and make it easy. And that's, like, usually better for, like, the group success, to make a hard enemy easy rather than make a easy enemy easier. Uh-oh, Pyroblast on Core. You gonna live it? Yep. This is about a 5,000 damage Pyroblast. Alright, is Blazing... So, I think Blazing said he already has... Yeah, he already has the Hourglass. Okay, so, Hourglass for me is, like, a little bit better than Hand of Justice. Not a lot. So, for some classes, it's, like, super duper giga good, right? So, I was talking... And, like, these guys are all my guild mates, so I wasn't gonna try to, like, scum the loot or anything, or, like, whatever. So, like, if other people, like, actually needed it and it was super good for them, I was gonna pass it to them. But it looks like no one actually needs it in this group, so maybe we get an Hourglass. I've not seen Hourglass drop in any of my normal or heroic runs. Haven't seen that item drop a single time. Seen like 3 or 4 Latros, though. Got one earlier today for Higgs? Hell yeah. Guild rubs are BIS. I love it when my guild rubs me. Yeah, definitely. I agree that guild rubs are... Oh, you meant runs. Yeah, I also meant runs. Yeah, yeah, ignore that. I meant runs also, yeah. Jay Swerve says, finally got Latros today, but had seen like 5 Hourglasses before. Oh man, nice. How good is Hourglass on Grog? Kind of mid. It's okay. It's not your best in slot. Your best in slot for pre-raid would be Bloodlust and Abacus. But you know, you might not get both of those. Bloodlust, you can basically guarantee. Abacus, you know, comes out of a normal, so, like, you can run Mechanar until it drops. So I guess, you know, you can almost guarantee that. Little expose armor up there. So I think we're going to Blood Furnace after this, which I'm super stoked about. Blood Furnace is very scary, and I would be extremely hesitant to do it with, like, a random pug group. But I think a guild group, you know, that increases our chances a lot of actually clearing the place. And for me, the item I want out of Blood Furnace is off the very last boss, so it's not like I could get a, like, first boss drop, dip, you know, group wipes on second boss 3 times, disbands. It's like, that would be bad for me. Okay, boss next. Mana's a little low. Yeah, Tercia calls for full drink. Yo, look at this. Oh, holy. Hold on, hold on. I didn't know Blazing was a tiger enjoyer. Swift Zulian tiger on this guy here. Holy. Oh, he's flexing. Oh, he knows. He knows I'm observing. He knows I'm miring that tiger. But can the tiger fly? I mean, no, not exactly. I'm going to drum up right now. Then I'm going to put the expose on. Then hit all the other cooldowns. Once the expose is already up. Alright, shifting to Sinister Strike mode because my energy is just too high during this adrenaline rush. The Shiv was getting me close to energy capped. Alright. Arcane Armor Kit. Do we need that for anything? Does anyone else roll on it, even? I just hit a greed roll. I don't really care if I get it or not. Okay, we got it. I was the only one. Melmorta's Twilight Longbow. No shot. That's not even close to what I've got. What would be enough evidence for auto attack resets? Blue bar under energy. Good luck on the belt. What you want to look at is you want to look at a combat log. You probably would set it up with a main hand weapon and no offhand weapon, and then you just look at a combat log and with timestamps to see the intervals. Add-ons can sometimes get confused. You know, I don't know if your add-on is measuring, you know, if it's resetting just on an extra attack, like it would. Like this happened. Let me back it up a little bit. This happened when TBC Classic came out in 2021, where a bunch of people had add-ons that were configured for vanilla, and the add-ons got confused because they thought things were supposed to... The add-on code thought that it was supposed to be resetting because that's how the game worked. So then players, not knowing the underlying code or mechanics, observed their add-on telling them that their auto attack was resetting when it in fact was not, and got confused. So the evidence that you would want to verify whether that's happening or not is just like the raw combat log with timestamps and as few like external elements that would confuse it, like offhand auto attacks happening at the same time that are hard to distinguish, stuff like that. So when you said blue bar under energy, that made me think that you had an add-on that was telling you whether or not you know what your auto attack swing timer was. And you know, you could be right, but I'm not going to go out of my way to, you know, thoroughly test that based on what you've told me so far. Can you solo the last boss in Serpentrine Cavern on Mist of Pandaria? Yes. They changed Lady Vosh in Mist of Pandaria so that the tainted core no longer immobilizes your character, so you're able to solo it without any like crazy tricks or anything. Missing offhand poison. Oh, yeah. I had a at different times. Okay. Also, my repair is getting a little low. Been doing a lot of dungeons in a row, and I don't think I hit a repair between any of them. Down to 8 on the Latros. It should be plenty to get through this dungeon, but then I definitely have to repair. It's enough to get through this dungeon if I don't die. Cloak the Shadow Bolt volley. Which basically means I need to be certain that I don't pull threat at any point. 2 Caverns of Time dungeons. Which one's more difficult? I would say Old Hillsbrad Heroic is more difficult than Black Morass Heroic. That 4 dragon pull right before the last boss in Old Hillsbrad is really, really tough. Alright, so I just got this pattern. Styling Jungle Hat. Yeah, all these Jungle Hat patterns are pretty much not desirable. The item, no one wants to craft these. I mean, they look kind of cool, but, like, it's not a pattern you're going to make a lot of money off of. So, my strategy with these patterns is, I get one, I just vendor it. And if I vendor it, instead of learning it, I can do the dungeon again and get the drop again and then vendor it again. But if I learn it, I'm not able to get the drop again. So I always greed roll it, because if there's another leather worker in the group that like actually wants the pattern, you know, let them have it. But if my plan is to vendor it, I'm just hitting greed roll. Alright, next boss is kind of tough. You're using us for vendor pattern gold? Look, no one else could even roll on it. I'm not using you guys for vendor pattern gold. If you guys were leather workers, you guys would have had it. But I mean, you guys picked shitty professions instead of leather working. It's not my fault.
It's not too late. You may still leave. So be it.
All right, here we go. Giving it a little bit of time. Hit the drum. Try to build up for an expose. Boss is enraged, but it got dispelled. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4 cooldowns. Slice and dice up. Threat is totally fine. Hit a little rupture there. I'm gonna slice early. I was considering maybe an eviscerate there. I don't think that would have been a good idea. Oh shit, okay, hold on. Now I'm gonna miss this exposed refresh because I eviscerated. I'm only missing it by like 1.5 seconds. Alright, we're good, we're good, we're good. Everything's good. What do we get? Not an hourglass. Oh, do I need to loot the other guy for a badge? No, I don't. It's okay. We didn't really need an hourglass. PvP off pieces out on NA today? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to, like, pretty much anything PvP related. Hateless says, am I cooked just during phase 1, or will I be alright after with enchanting and engineering? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's only a few professions that provide combat benefits, and they're all, like, kind of minor. Like, you could... If you want to pick combat benefit professions, you can. If you want to just do other things, you can. Like, it's not the end of the world. Enchanting... enchanting gives you ring enchants. Leatherworking gives you drums. Engineering gives you bombs. Blacksmithing gives you access to weapons that are, you know, sometimes better, sometimes equal to other weapons. I'm trying to think. I think there was one more profession. Oh, jewel crafting, right. Gives you epic gems that are, you know, a handful of stats. Oh, look, Tercia is saying that the play might be to layer it to keep sand breath debuff up. So Tercia is saying they tried to do this tech with the last boss with the beacons yesterday, and the boss actually despawned all of them. Like, it didn't just despawn the first one. Like, the tech basically didn't work when they did it yesterday, they're saying. So we'll see what happens here. If it works, doesn't work. Uh-oh, Blazing is dead? Why is that? He got slapped. Crank some extra damage here. Okay. Next portal's over here. Just got lucky with crits. Yeah, it happens. Alright, letting threat happen a little bit, then go. Build up for a big expose. Slice refresh. Nice, dead without having to refresh expose. Alright, the big belt here, I was looking in my spreadsheet, is like a 20 DPS upgrade over Bone Scythe, which is a lot. A lot of the other upgrades I was looking at of, like, you know, dungeon gear I can get were in the, like, 5 to 10 DPS upgrade range. So, belt being 20 is huge. The Girdle of the Death Dealer is the name of the item. Epic belt. Also, Phase 1 best in slot. There's a handful of the pre-raid items that you can get in Burning Crusade Phase 1 that are also just fully Phase 1 best in slot. You don't replace them in raids. You know, 2-piece Waste Walker, shoulder and glove. Girdle of the Death Dealer that we're getting out of here, because it's going to drop for sure. Also, Nightfall wrist guards, phase 1 best in slot. I can't remember. Bloodlust Brooch plus DST, I think, are your trinkets. So Bloodlust Brooch is there. Choker of Vile Intent, your necklace from badges, is pre-raid and also phase 1 BIS. I'm trying to think. How many others are there? Oh, Latros, yeah. Latros. Wrist, yeah. Nightfall wrist guards, I mentioned those. Latros, you're right about that one. Cloak is Drape of the Dark Reavers. Then you go Skulkers, Netherblade for those slots. Rings are Ring of 1,000 Marks and something else. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I have to check. And then range slot. What do you get in the range slot? I'm trying to remember. You can pre-raid, you can get the Thrallmar / Honorhold Exalted ranged weapon. Oh, Garona's Signet, yeah, Garona's Signet Ring, yeah, that's the other ring. Thrallmar bow, yeah, Thrallmar bow is pre-raid, but I can't remember off the top of my head if it's also phase 1 BIS. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of all the items that are both pre-raid and phase 1 BIS. Alright, due to the compromised durability of my offhand weapon, I'm going to make a tactical switch to Sinister Striking. So I hit with my offhand fewer times. Oh, Prince Bow. Yeah, right. That's the one. Beacon Order. Okay.
My shield grows weak. Those who do not embrace this greater path shall become victims of its passion.
I am beacon number 2. So when Minac will do the first one, and then the moment his despawns, I'm gonna put mine in. Oh shit, tank almost died insta.
Your time is up.
Nope. Okay, this seems like it doesn't work. I don't know if it got fixed or if we're just doing it wrong or getting unlucky. When does Envenom get good? Wrath of the Lich King. That's when. Not in this expansion. Girdle, please. Girdle. Any girdles? No, we got a glowing Tanzanite. God. It sucks so much when you get a epic gem for +1 stat instead of a epic item for like +30 stats. It is an okay gem, sure. That's true. Ooh, we got the Nether. Is nice. All right, we got to repair. We got to empty the inventory. We probably got to make some crippling poison. That might be something we want to do.